This podcast is a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to find out more. This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys is brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. Head to patreon.com/Radio Mike and for as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every week. 50 years after the final Harry Potter book, Harry Potter is now headmaster of Hogwarts, ready to usher in a brand new generation of witches and wizards. My name's Radio Mike, and I love Harry Potter. In fact, I love Harry Potter so much that when I was a kid, I wrote a series of 7 Harry Potter fan fiction novels. This is book 2 in that series. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Hello, Hamoras, everyone. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. We're on Book 2, Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Couldn't think of any better guests to come on this show than Gogglebox's own Adam and Symon. Welcome to the show, boys.
Thanks, Mike. We couldn't think of any better podcast to be on than this one. We got offered, there was like, Joe Rogan was like, do you guys want to come on? We said, hey,
no,
sorry.
Get stuffed, Joe. We're busy.
We're busy. We're doing
Hey,
Harry Potter fan fiction.
Do you guys want to come on and tell us about your life? No, Tim Ferriss, I hate you.
Yeah. Who else asked you? Any other pods? Case File? Asked you to just narrate one
They
of the
said,
murders?
hey, tell us about that time you killed someone. And we went, not today.
Yeah.
We've got Harry Potter and
They
the
were
Boys
like,
to
come
do
on, do an extra episode of The Teacher's Pet. And we're like, sorry, we're busy.
You're busy. Well, I appreciate you clearing the schedule for this Harry Potter themed podcast. How have you guys been? Obviously, we're recording this in a radio studio that we've all worked out of to various degrees in our lifetimes. Crazy, because you guys do a podcast here, the Adam and Symon podcast. How's that going?
It's going well. It's going very well. We've just moved our podcast actually into just like this other studio that isn't even a studio. We basically commandeered a marketing room.
Oh,
We came to a radio station to record a podcast outside a radio studio.
Yeah, because then we recorded in the radio room, which is where we are now, and it was too intimidating. So we're like, oh, we've got to get out of here.
Was it really that?
Yeah. So now we just use our own staff in a marketing room, which is quite fun.
Do you like that?
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah, feels comfortable.
Well, that's good.
Feels very comfortable.
Glad to hear it.
Less physical
That's the rule about
obstructions.
podcasting. So you got to be comfortable.
And is there much Harry Potter themed content happening on the Adam and Symon show?
Not lately, because we just want to give your show air.
Yeah,
We
right.
want to give it air. And because we came in today especially to do this podcast.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
the reason we're doing this today is because I had work here today on the Hamish and Andy podcast.
Do you
that
work
I
on the
work in.
Hamish and Andy?
I do. And
Yeah, right.
Adam and Simon were like, oh, we're going to be there. And so I was like, let's do a podcast. And then now Adam has retroactively said, well, we actually just came in to do your podcast, which is not true. You were
is
here
true.
for other things.
It's true.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
And then
It's 2 verse 1.
And then Eliza, a friend of mine who works here, who's outside the studio right now, it told you guys that I have a thing for Greek women,
Which you do.
which
Well,
I,
I mean,
don't know where I don't know where she got it because I've never dated a Greek woman in my
Doesn't mean
life.
you have to have dated a Greek woman.
Exactly. You
to
tell
find
us.
them attractive.
I find lots of women attractive,
Oh,
but
do
I
you?
don't find
Interesting.
I don't like
How many women do you find
I don't
attractive?
specifically think Greek women are like the most attractive.
No, but
So you hate Greek women? That's
No,
so
I'm not
interesting that you.
saying-
Why don't you
clarify-
like Greek women? That's so
No, I
strange.
To
do,
clarify
but
what
it's
Eliza
like-
said, she said it's not necessarily Mike has a penchant for Greek women. She said he quite likes anyone that has a traditionally Mediterranean look.
But I don't know where she got that.
Is
That's
that
the
because
thing.
you're Italian? You have
But
Italian.
I
You want
don't
to keep
think-
the genealogy strong?
Anyway, guys, we got to continue with
Do
Harry
we
Potter.
though?
We do.
shouldn't. We should keep sitting on this.
No, I think we
So,
should
Mike
maybe
hates
bring it
any
back
women?
at various points.
Anyone of traditional Mediterranean appearance who's
Reach
listening to
out.
this podcast, please reach out. Mike's looking
Thanks,
for a
guys.
girlfriend.
Harry Potter, though, we got to start here. For what's your guys' experience? You're a bit older than me. What's your experience with
fan.
HP?
Big fan. So I
Yeah.
would always, I always denied that I would read the books
Mm.
until one road trip. My mum, just put out Philosopher's Stone and said, "You've got to read it." And
How
I read
old were you?
No, I would have been maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And then I read the whole thing in one car trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where were you driving?
We were driving to Merimbula from
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Okay.
So there was a few hours.
Yeah.
And I'm a genius, so I can read really
Really
quickly.
fast. Yeah.
so
What
that's fine
about
as
you,
well.
Adam?
I have the same birthday as Harry Potter.
Oh, 31st of July.
Correct.
Wow.
But the same day, so 1990 as well. Harry Potter born.
Wow. I don't think Harry was
1990.
born in 1990.
He was bang on, absolutely bang on.
I think he was born in 1980 because he started school at Hogwarts in 1991.
Well, I told everybody it was my birthday. But
Oh,
same
that
birthday.
makes sense because the first birthday would have happened in 1991,
Yeah.
which you would have been like, "Oh, it's my birthday."
Yeah.
He was born in
that was the day you
1980
were
though.
born.
Is it not? Is it that? That's like
'Cause
verified exactly.
He's
1980?
11 years old in the first book, which
Well, I
is
thought
set
the-
in 1991.
Right. I thought the first book was set in 2000.
Why'd you think that? I'm just going to Google it. Harry Potter birthday, 31st of July, 1980.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
10 years
he's
off.
10
Close
years
though.
off, yeah.
It's good.
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah,
He
Oh,
was
no,
10
that's-
years old.
Adam pins his identity so much to the same birthday.
We've just
and we've
debunked it.
same
Same
birthday.
day, not the same year.
Same day as Harry Potter, but always thought I looked like Ron because so read all the books, seen all the movies,
Yeah.
been to the play, done all have
Especially the big
Yeah,
super Harry Potter super
ticked Harry
fan.
Potter,
yeah.
yeah. And then, but was always like when I was reading the books because it was before the movies came out. I was like, mate, I look like I'm Ron Weasley because it was like red
Oh,
hair.
So before Rupert Grint was cast,
Yeah.
you were like, this is me.
I was like, maybe I'm a chance of being cast
Yeah.
as Ron Weasley.
You could have been
Wow.
actually.
Yeah.
And then maybe if not, easily could be a Fred or George. Like you could be a Fred or George.
Could
if
be a
they,
Charlie.
If they didn't get an actual twins, they could have gotten you and just copied and pasted you and you played two. You know how they
Tom
do
Hardy
it for
style.
like, yeah.
Could have been a Charlie.
Could have been a Charlie, could have
Yeah.
been a Bill later
Yeah.
in the
Actually
series.
went
Percy,
went as Ron Weasley to Book Week in I think year 4.
was this
or year 5.
pre-movies?
Yeah. So this would have been
Wow.
like. Or
And was
year
everyone
5
like,
was
"Oh
like-
my god, he's here. Ron Weasley's
Wow,
here."
he came to
And then
school.
my
Where's Adam?
best friend at the time, Josh Hetherington, he went as Harry Potter, and then I
Does
went
he
as
look like Harry
Ron
Potter?
Weasley. No, he had blonde hair, but he like
They could have
They
gone
could
as
have gone as
Malfoy.
Malfoy. That's an
Yeah.
easy win.
You guys could have
no,
had
it
a
was like
duel.
sandy blonde, not quite like that shock blonde.
Yeah,
Not
right.
proper
Did he
shock
draw the
blonde.
scar and everything?
Drew the scar, had the glasses.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Carried around the broom, everything.
Wow, good
Interesting.
stories.
Regular broom or like a broom to fly or just a regular broom?
Nimbus.
Yeah, Nimbus. Yeah,
Did he
nice.
write Nimbus on it?
Yeah, right, Nimbus.
Or was it one of the real Nimbuses
It could have
from
been a
the
real one.
world? It was really a wizard.
He was standing
Oh,
over it,
actually,
just
this
going
does fly.
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
up. He
Wouldn't
did that
work.
a lot. Didn't work.
Yeah, and then everyone go, "Ah, that's classic because
Yeah.
you're not a wizard."
So,
and then one day,
what? Sorry, I interrupted you.
no,
Well, I'll just go.
keep going.
What's your favorite book and/or movie? Do you guys have one? Does one come to mind?
Yeah, my favorite book is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Mhm.
First little dark turn, I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
Introduces Sirius Black,
Yeah.
best character in the whole show.
Who is mentioned in the first book, actually, very fleetingly by
Ah.
Hagrid.
Oh, as a bad guy?
In chapter 1, Hagrid flies in on the motorbike and says, I borrowed this from Sirius Black. Chapter 1, book 1.
Yeah,
She had it all planned out.
yeah,
Pretty crazy.
yeah. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's actually mostly the reason I'm here is to get my mind blown on Harry Potter facts.
And there's your first one.
Sick. Love that.
So you like Sirius Black?
yeah.
Yeah.
Prisoner of Azkaban, always the best one. Just I like the character turn that he was bad, but he's actually the best guy.
Decent dude.
And I think it reminds everyone of, everyone has a bit of an uncle that, well, I have an uncle that's a bit younger
Yeah.
and he, a bit of a Sirius Black type character.
Do
Bit of,
you?
bit of a renegade, less murderous,
Yeah,
obviously.
murdered someone, spent 13 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah.
Got kind of cleared amongst a group of people, but not many people believed it.
Yep.
But he's out now. Yeah, okay.
The parallels, striking.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Well,
striking.
it's kind of like if Jesus, it's like the opposite of Jesus, because we all think, I'm not religious, but like the message we get is that Jesus, really good guy.
yeah,
Imagine if we then found out, horrible guy.
bad guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what Sirius Black was in reverse.
Inverse Jesus.
Inverse Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's a
That's
good little
interesting.
analogy.
Yeah.
And what about you, Adam? Favorite book?
Book and movie, same. 4. Goblet of Fire.
Oh, really?
I like the Triwizard Tournament. I think that's sick. It's awesome.
What do you like about it?
I just love all the challenges, like the boys, the twins trying to put their names into the fire and getting blown back.
Yeah.
Everything like Yule Ball.
Didn't
Just
you
sick.
think it was just too much that Harry Potter got his name pulled out of the hat?
No.
Like that
I
frustrated
agree.
me.
Yeah.
When his name, it's like, I get that the name is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but get fucked. Like, are we allowed to swear on this?
Yeah,
show?
you're allowed to swear.
I was
I'm not
like,
as-
mate,
I'm
you're
not
not
as
allowed
cynical.
to.
I'm not as cynical.
I was like, you can't, mate. The
Yeah.
rules are the rules.
Yeah.
You can't just be doing everything Harry Potter. You're not allowed.
And you'd think that I've always said on this show, like, if you remember the movie, I think it's Professor McGonagall says to Dumbledore, like, oh, you couldn't possibly let Harry Potter compete.
And he's like,
And then
yeah, sure.
Dumbledore's like, oh, the goblet has a binding contract. I think it's Barty Crouch is like, there's a binding contract. You have to compete. You can't go against the goblet. But I've always said on this show, what if Harry was just like to Dumbledore, hey mate, I'm not competing. I'm not going to show up to
Yeah.
any of the events.
Nah.
Oh, but Harry, you have a binding contract. Yeah, but I'm just not coming. You're going to have to figure something else out.
What are you going to do? Sue me?
Yeah, like,
Or
are you going to
couldn't
force
he have
me?
just made the unspoken thing where he walks into the maze at the end, sends up the help. Oh, I'm done. Send up the help straight away.
Yeah, just
I'm
giving
out.
up every time.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
be like, hey guys, I understand that I'm not supposed to be in this, not supposed to be doing this.
The headmaster's forcing me to, so
Yeah.
I don't want to.
That would be a more noble act.
Yeah.
Harry
Also,
Potter,
it's
not noble, narcissist.
Probably speaks to the irresponsibility of Dumbledore as
Yeah.
like a parent figure.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, too
Hey.
young. It doesn't matter. You'll
What
be
could
fine.
go wrong? Yeah.
Explains why he
fine.
doesn't have kids, old Dumbledore.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, mate. You'll
Yeah.
be fine. You'll be fine. But not as cynical. When I was like reading that, which would have been like what, 12 or 13,
Mm.
I was like, how's this? All this stuff's happening. Wasn't like, let's critically analyze this and whether he should
It's-
actually be in there
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah. Just accept the author's
Yeah.
word, which you're going to have to do a lot of when we read my
I
fan
look
fiction.
forward to it.
Funnily enough, we're on book 2 of my fan fiction, and this one is actually called Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament.
I did
Good.
notice.
So it is similar to the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Before we get onto it, do we have any favorite characters or favorite moments, like story arcs in the books or movies?
Oh, I touched on it before. Sirius Black, bad
Yeah.
guy, into a good guy,
Yeah.
into
Reverse
heroic.
Jesus.
Yep,
Yeah.
reverse Jesus. Heroic uncle into savior and just
Yeah.
general paternal figure for Harry. I
Yeah.
think he's a good dude.
Good dude. Yeah,
Uh,
Adam?
Movie number or book 1 when they on the train. Anything from the Trolleys Dears? No thanks. I'm all set. I like Ron there, and then
Oh.
they try the Birdie Bots every flavoured beans,
Yeah.
and Ron says George swears he got a bogey flavoured one once. That's probably one of my favourites.
I thought you were going to say the trolley lady's your favourite character in the franchise. Yeah, she just made such an impression
Yeah.
in that first book.
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
god, I'm taken by her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She was good at her role.
Yeah, okay.
She was good at her role.
Now, I'm going to make a guess here
Hmm.
because I try to sort every guess that comes on this show.
Good.
And there is no doubt in my mind that both of you would be Gryffindors.
No.
Oh, no.
No, I'm a straight. Simon's a Slytherin for
No
sure.
way are you you're the
For
biggest Gryffindor in the
sure.
world.
Thanks,
Nah.
man. Thanks.
Big-
I think
nah.
everyone wants to be a Gryffindor, don't they?
Simon's a Slytherin for sure. and
Yeah.
I'm just straight up Puff.
Yeah.
Are you a Hufflepuff?
Yeah,
You're
just like-
definitely a Gryffindor. Maybe it's because you look like Ron.
Maybe.
Cool. I'm really surprised you guys aren't Gryffindors. I thought you'd be like the Harry and Ron, essentially.
to be
It's a
quite
big
fair-
compliment from Mike to call us both Gryffindors.
For
though.
sure. To be fair, I've done the test multiple times to
Mhm.
try to get Gryffindor.
But what are your Slytherin traits? You're not a dickhead, are you?
Yeah.
It's just a
Oh,
yeah,
it's a bit
undercover
slippery.
dickhead. Yeah.
It's a bit
wow.
slippery.
But
Slippery
also
snake.
very brave.
Yeah,
very
that's
brave,
where
that's
the
a
sorting
Slytherin.
hat's a bit jilted for you,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
It's like,
Maybe
are
the
you
sorting
brave
hat-
for good or brave for bad?
Similar
Yeah.
to Harry, how it sits on. It goes, oh, you good. Do have a lot of traits of a Slytherin. And then Simon's like,
not-
oh,
yeah.
But you're actually a Slytherin.
Except I leant into the turn, not like Harry the
Yeah.
weakling. Just went away. He's like, I'll be noble and good, loser.
It is interesting because, like, you're right. Like, stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from a company, that's brave.
Mm.
That is
Yeah.
a brave thing to
Mm.
do.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's good.
No,
Correct.
Bravery's not always good.
brave yet
Correct.
stupid. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, we should dive into the fanfic, not
Yeah.
fict. We're
Oh,
on.
it could be fiction.
Could be fiction. Yeah,
It's not.
we're on chapter 12, and just a little lowdown. It's the first book was called Harry Potter and the Boys. We're now on Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. In the last chapter, basically, there's a bunch of boys. They're at Hogwarts. Harry's now the headmaster, but he's a bit deranged and disillusioned. And, like, we assume it's because of the trauma of his childhood. Now he's just a psychopath. There's also an evil teacher called Mr. Charger, who is constantly plotting to kill the boys. I kind of liken him to sort of a Count Olaf. Do you know Count Olaf from the series of unfortunate events?
No.
No.
Well, you
I
both
immediately-
nodded when I said
I
was
immediately
like,
thought
okay, where's this
Olaf
going?
from Frozen.
No.
Yeah, I did think all that from Frozen too. What subject is Mr. Charger?
potions.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And we've just revealed basically Mr. Charger's newest scheme to kill the boys is to create the Team Wizard tournament, where the boys have to compete in a series of dangerous tasks in the Team Wizard tournament. Also, Hagrid is still at the school. He's also really old now, so he's super crazy.
He's due for long service.
Which is relevant because he's kind of a major character in this chapter. So I'm going to hand the laptop over with the chapter, and you guys can read paragraph by paragraph or however you want to read it. And we always start by reading the title of the chapter. Hagrid got a promotion at the start of this year. He's now the Defense Against the Dark Arts / Farts teacher. But Adam and Simon, however you want to split this up, let's take it away with Chapter 12 of Harry Potter and the Team Wizard Tournament. Are you guys okay?
Yeah, sorry. I moved the mouse. I moved the mouse.
Scrolled
You were
away.
both just
He
staring in silence.
scrolled away 4 pages below, and I was like, "All right, sweet." He'll go back to it now. Mike's wrapping this up, and he stayed on the same
I couldn't
page.
figure out how
I
to
was
get back
so
up.
confused. I was like, you
Oh
guys are
my God.
literally
Okay, all right,
sitting...
here we go.
Okay,
Here we go.
chapter 12. Hagrid's class of the darkest farts.
Wow.
The boys realised that they would be forced into participating in the Team Wizard tournament, which actually seemed to have no purpose whatsoever other than to be designed to kill specifically them by Mr. Charger, which Harry Potter seemed oblivious to.
Yeah. And
Shock. Harry
again,
Potter
Harry
oblivious.
Potter totally just cannot see that it's so obvious that Mr. Charger is a murderer trying to kill these boys.
Scumbag.
It's terrible.
Absolute scumbag.
In the first book, it ends, spoilers, with Mr. Charger killing Ron Weasley. Sorry, Adam.
Whoa.
And
Devastating.
he gets fired from the school for murder, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 of this book, he's back as Potions
Absolutely,
Master.
yes,
Harry's
absolutely.
rehired him because he couldn't find anyone else.
That's it. The job market's difficult sometimes. The job market's really tough out there.
So he's
well.
back this year. The boys keep saying to Harry, he is trying to kill us. And Harry's like, guys, I think you're overreacting. Pretty
God,
much.
I
Mr.
mean-
Charger, with a history of murder, surely not.
He's done it once. He wouldn't do it twice.
He's
That'd
done
be
it
right.
silly.
guys.
Fool
And
me
what,
once,
who
shame
else
on
are we
me.
going to get? Professor Snape is dead, idiots.
You idiots, boys. Okay. I'm sorry, but this school is fucked, said Michael. This is Big Brother, said Big Brother.
Which, okay, so
Very
just so
important.
you know, Big Brother has not appeared.
This is the first time.
This is his first appearance. As far as we knew, the franchise Big Brother did not exist in the Harry Potter franchise, but
Yeah.
now it's confirmed that it does,
Okay,
apparently.
big fans of hot dogs.
It's transferred across from the
Boys.
Muggle world. This is Big Brother, said Big Brother. Important because if this is Big Brother is said by Mr. Charger, then you'd know something was afoot.
Something was up.
Interesting.
But this
Yeah.
is, in fact, Big Brother,
Yeah.
which at the time this was written in 2007 was at a, it was quite big in Australia, Big Brother.
Big fan of Trevor and
Yeah, Trevor and
Sarah
the
Marie.
Logan twins,
Sarah
a
Marie.
classic.
Yeah.
I watched the YouTube on them the other day.
The
actually.
Logan twins were great.
Even
Yeah.
Fitzy.
Fitzy from
Yeah.
Fitzy and Whipper
Chrissy
now,
Swan.
Chrissy Swan, a
Ben-
few successful ones.
Ben Williams, the winner of the first one. Blair McDonough.
Blair McDonough went on to
Oh.
star in Neighbours
Yeah.
for a while.
Huge.
Would love
Who
to
else
know
was
what he's
there?
doing now.
Merlin. Everyone,
Merlin.
Yes,
if you're
free refugees.
we have a lot of international listeners of this show. If you want to see something phenomenal that happened on live television in 2004, type in Merlin Big Brother Australia eviction and just watch the host of Big Brother, Gretel Colleen, try to deal with someone who's just not going to talk on live TV.
Incredible.
It's an incredible, awkward moment.
Everyone at home just
Ahead of
looking
the
at each
game.
other. What are we?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to keep watching
Yeah.
if they don't talk? What do we do? I don't
Merlin was ahead of the
understand.
game. Michael, for swearing, that's a $5,000 fine. Interesting they're using dollars rather than like a
Galleon. There was a period on Australian Big Brother where they would get a
a
fine.
monetary fine.
Yeah, 'cause it
Take
was-
away from the prize money?
Yeah, it was like there's $1 million prize money, but every rule breach you lose $5,000, and I've just copied that into
Kind
this.
of like
Yeah.
too hot to handle.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
The
much.
crossover we never thought we wanted.
Yeah.
is here.
Oh, said the boys to Michael angrily. All right, I'm going to the diary room, said Michael.
And this is this book, just so you know. It's just like you think the chapter's about one thing, and then it's like, no, the boys are now in Big Brother,
Yeah.
and he's going to the diary room.
Mate, you thought you knew Hogwarts. You thought you knew the floor plan. You
Yeah.
thought the Marauders map would show you, but little did you know the diary
Diary
room's
room.
in
You
there.
wouldn't have known. It's where all the cameras are. You can talk directly to Big Brother. It's crazy.
Michael, what can I do for you? Said Big Brother.
So we assume that Michael has walked into the diary
Yes.
room, sat down on the iconic chair, and is talking to BB.
This week, for 2 points, I'm nominating Mr. Charger because he's trying to kill us, said Michael. Thank you, Michael, said Big Brother.
Now,
2 points. Doesn't go for 3.
yeah, imagine this in 2 scenarios. One, in the real Big Brother house. Oh, Logan David. Who do you nominate? Oh, I want to nominate Tim because he's trying to murder various housemates. Thank you for your nomination.
Good to know.
Or at Hogwarts, Harry, we want to nominate Mr. Charger for trying to kill us. Oh, okay, thank you for your nomination.
Good
We'll
job.
look into it.
We've noted your nomination points and we'll put it out
See
to
if
the
he goes
vote.
up for eviction.
The votes are going out to the parents tonight. So if they choose what they
To
choose.
evict Mr. Charger, call 1-300-9999.
Lachy had been quiet the whole time since the Goblet of Frostbite. Interestingly, his name hadn't been read out.
Yeah, so all the boys' names came out of the Goblet of Frostbite to say that they, except for Lachy, this one of the boys who has a shrouding mystery around him because he looks identical to a Slytherin boy named Gemini Jones. And that's not yet explained.
Interesting.
So there's lots of breadcrumbs in this book.
He wasn't competing. But why? Why did Mr. Charger want to protect him? So Mr. Charger wants to protect Lachy.
Well, he's the only boy whose name wasn't in the Goblet of Frostbite in the group. So everyone was like, what?
Maybe
What?
Lachy is, he's my prediction, Lachy is Mr. Charger's son.
Ooh,
illegitimate
it's a
son.
good
That's
prediction.
a good one.
It is a good prediction.
I think, I'm going to go like another, the son of his. It's Mr. Charger is Sirius Black to this kid, to Lachy.
Weird, because
You're
that
saying
would
that-
indicate that Lachy hangs out with some evil people because, I mean, Mr. Charger's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he.
People thought Sirius was a bad guy too.
Ooh, so you're thinking there might be redemption for Mr. Charger
Maybe
who
Ron-
murdered Ron Weasley.
Maybe he didn't murder him. Maybe.
I think it was pretty obvious that he did.
Okay, cool.
I think
He
that's
definitely did.
confirmed, but you never know with this particular book series.
It's a real roller coaster.
Yeah.
As they walk to their first Defense Against the Dark Farts class for term.
Yeah, so there's a new there's a Defense Against the Dark Arts is now Defense Against the Dark Farts because there's a new brand of magic, the Dark Farts, which is fart involved magic.
Yeah. I see.
That a lot of dark wizards use. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. As they walk to their first Defense Against the Dark Farts class for term, the boys walked past Mr. Charger, who put his tongue out at them and made a face. When Professor Granger walked around the corner, he pretended he was having a conversation with them. What a dog!
So Mr. Charger sees the boys and just goes,
Mr. Charger, this vicious and evil person who has killed one of their friends, sticks his tongue out them and
Like-
makes a face.
this is a grown man who's a teacher at the school who's just looking at these kids going, and like this is like if Voldemort saw Harry in the graveyard and instead of trying to duel him was just like, gotcha, Harry, you loser.
Wrecked. No, get wrecked, mate.
Pretty
Get wrecked.
much. And then another teacher comes who is like, he's probably like, oh, hey guys, what's going on? Are you
Yeah.
guys? What's the-"
He actually says,
Oh.
great work, boys. You're doing a good job.
Because you don't want Professor Granger after you.
Yeah, he doesn't want Hermione to think, oh, Mr. Charger's bullying those boys. So he's just like, oh,
Is-
great work, guys. Keep walking.
Who is Professor Granger?
Hermione, she's now she's like Professor McGonagall now.
Gotcha.
And she seems to be the only staff member at Hogwarts that kind of is aware of,
Mr.
have you
Charger.
guys watched The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know Superintendent Chalmers?
Yes.
You know how he's sometimes like the only character who can see how ludicrous everything happening at the school is?
Yep.
Yeah. Hermione's kind of like that with Hogwarts. Like she's just like, what is going on? Why is Harry doing all this crazy stuff?
Why is he
Why is there a
employed a murderer?
murderous teacher?
Yes.
But it always just says she has no power in the situation, so she can't do anything about it.
Right, except say, yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw exactly what happened.
Great
and,
job,
good
guys. Well done.
Way to not respond, everyone.
Yeah.
To all bullies, you walk away.
Just ignore them, guys.
Well
They'll
done.
go away.
When they got into the Dark Farts classroom, Hagrid was standing at the front bloatedly.
Great.
Bloatedly.
In the first book, we learn that Hagrid, I think, now weighs 57 trillion kilograms, which is quite big. And he has, in previous chapters, fallen over and crushed various students to death accidentally.
So he's also a murderous teacher.
Just as bad
yeah,
as
but it
we-
was an accident.
Oh,
So-
that's true. Yeah,
and-
yeah.
And it's Hagrid.
Yeah, it's Hagrid. You gotta love him. Lots of kids in this book just die with no consequences.
High
and are
kill
murdered.
count.
Yeah, a high kill count. There
Like
could
that.
be a death in this chapter.
They're like the life expectancy is about as long as a stormtrooper. Like
Yes,
you just,
exactly.
like, a lot of anonymous death.
A lot of disposable kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing the class with Slytherins and expelled.
Okay, so yep, expelled. I have to explain a lot to you guys. 2 students were expelled by the Sorting Hat,
Mhm.
but Harry decided to create a new house called Expelled for those students. So
course he
they're
did.
in just Expelled house, just the 2 of them.
Because a magic hat has poor judgment.
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Like, we've got a
And-
magic hat that's been sorting everyone for years.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't have got
Thinks
this
these
wrong.
2 should be expelled, but we'll just create a new house.
Yeah, it's fine.
I really
Okay.
like the next sentence. So Derek and Dimmy were there. Even though Dimmy was a first year, he might just be in all the second year classes for the purpose of the story.
Yeah.
Right. Self-aware.
Just
self-aware.
clarifying. Just
Not
clarifying.
to the audience.
If anybody's wondering why Dimmy is in with all the second years, it's just for the story, so you're going to need to play along.
And it literally is that, because Dimmy we were just introduced to in this book, but now it feels like when I was writing this, I regretted that Dimmy wasn't in the first book. So I'm just gonna make him in all the second year
I
classes.
like you're shoehorning him in, but you're going, hey guys, here's a shoehorn,
Yeah.
put it in,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
right, don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
J.K. Rowling never did that. She was actually just had it all planned out from the start, like the
Safe.
Sirius Black thing.
Too safe.
I
Too
never
safe.
mentioned Dimmy in book 1, so I couldn't then introduce him in book 2 and be like, oh, we mentioned him in book 1. But yeah.
Keep
Gemini
up, everyone.
Jones,
Yeah.
a Slytherin, was also there. Lockie took a seat next to Gemini.
Ooh,
Hi.
And
he
this is
said.
the first
What,
contact.
don't they
between-
look exactly the same?
Yep, and they've never spoken because they
Until
I guess the
now.
author hasn't allowed it to happen until
Interesting.
now. So this is big for the listeners because this is the first interaction between Lockie and
Oh
Gemini.
my God, this is
Lockie
amazing.
took a seat next to Gemini. Hi, he said. Oh, nice. Cut the tension with a knife
starter.
here.
Yeah.
Hi, said Gemini.
Oh. And they're
Oh.
like, "What? You look the same as me? What's
Wait,
going
am I
on?"
looking in the mirror?
Yeah.
That's not what they said, listeners.
A lot
That's
of
not what they
people
said.
have said that Gemini actually means twin. So they think that's a red herring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a clue, rather.
Mm.
But I always say, I don't think I knew that when I was 13. I genuinely think it's a coincidence. Like, I don't think... I think I just thought Gemini Jones was a funny name. I don't think I think I found out on this podcast that Gemini meant twin. So it can't be a clue.
You've just defaulted to, guys, you're giving me far too much credit.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
In the sentence before you said, here's a character that I wanted earlier, but I'm just putting it in now because I want to. And you're going, Gemini's a twin. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
all right.
I'll take it.
All right. Hi, Hagrid, the class said. You all better go to potions now. You're running late, said Hagrid. Did they just get to the class?
So Hagrid every time the boys see Hagrid in every chapter so far in both books, all Hagrid says is, you better go to potions
Right.
now. No explanation, even when they don't have potions. So that's a play on
Right.
that.
No, Hagrid, we've got defense against the dark farts, the class said. You better go to herbology. I reckon
you're right.
Hagrid's been going to herbology, if you know what I'm saying.
I also like the
Yeah,
unison
this-
in which the class speaks. They all say, hi, Hagrid, at the same time.
Yeah.
Then they say, no, Hagrid, we've got defense against the dark farts all at the same time as well. Very
Yeah.
impressive.
And yeah, I think, you're right, Simon. There is a herb that Hagrid may be
Big
using
time.
a lot of.
Big time herb guy. No, we have class with you, said Sam. Are you happy, Sam? Said Hagrid.
Aren't you happy, Sam?
Aren't you happy, Sam?
That's another one of Hagrid's
classic line.
untranslatable slogans.
Right.
Aren't you
Yeah.
happy, Sam?
Aren't you happy, Sam? Said Hagrid. Okay, Hagrid. Are you going to teach us anything or not? Said Michael. A bit forceful from Michael.
Nice.
I would have thought.
He likes to keep the book moving.
Yeah, he's like, guys, keep going, keep going.
Oh, this is ripping paragraph coming up.
Here we go.
Okay.
Teaching, teaching, teaching. Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four. Steak, steak, steak. Small amount of peas. Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic. Human Torch, Fantastic Four. Here's a new smell. Farta Marta Mortis, said Hagrid. as he waved his wand at Dragon Male Boy, who I guess was back in this book but hasn't done anything yet.
Because
Finish it.
The spell created a disgusting stench in the room, and each and every one of Dragon Male Boy's farts was evacuated from his bum.
wow, and that's defense against the dark farts.
That's a classic one. That is an absolute
Nothing like
classic.
Fantastic Four,
Mortimus.
Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four, steak, 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 small amount of peas. That's how it works.
And then didn't he say Mr. Fantastic?
Fantastic
Mr.
Four, Mr.
Fantastic, Human
Fantastic.
Torch.
Then
Yeah.
he started listing the members of the Fantastic
Correct.
Four, but only remembered two.
Got two of them. That was like,
Forgot-
that's
and then
good
went back
enough.
to the
Thing
group
and the
name.
Invisible Girl.
He started doing, all the Fantastic Four memories, and then goes, here's a new spell, Fartamata Mortis.
Fartamata Mortis is a good. That's a good spell.
Because there is a spell in the Harry Potters called Locomotor Mortis, which is like your legs, the leg lock curse, where it locks your legs.
Right.
And I've taken that and just gone Fartamata Mortis.
Perfect.
Evacuate your farts. Locks up all your farts.
When you were writing this, were you laughing as you were writing it? Do you remember?
I think I thought this was intelligent.
Yep.
Like, I just
Yeah.
think, I was like, Locomotor Mortis? Fartamata Mortis.
Brilliant.
That's what it would
Brilliant.
be.
Brilliant.
And I don't think I found that funny. I mean, I must have, right?
Surely.
Like, Fartamata Mortis.
Fartamata Mortis is unashamedly funny, I would have thought. All right. I see, said Lockie. So Fartamata Mortis evacuates farts from people's bodies. It's the perfect counter for the dark farts. If they don't have any farts, they can't use the dark farts. Hagrid, you're actually a great teacher. The whole class
Wow.
clapped.
Oh, sound effects. I love this.
You better go to divination tomorrow, said Hagrid as he blushed and did a windmill with his stiffy.
Wait.
He did a windmill with his stiffy. Hagrid, you can't be exposing yourself.
Hagrid literally just says to the students, here's a spell, uses it on a student whose farts waft around the classroom, which for that student would be a humiliating and traumatizing experience.
Oh.
The class goes, wow, you're a great teacher. And then he goes, you better go to divination tomorrow. And then, is he already naked?
Well, he
Oh,
blushed
no, he
first.
com-
He did blush first, and then he did a windmill with his stiffy.
He completely solves defense against the dark farts. He teaches.
If
could
you've
have
got no
taught him.
farts,
Yeah.
you got no
Could
problems.
have taught him in week one.
Yeah.
Could have taught him in the very first class of the year. Decides to wait until he goes steak, 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 a little bit of peas.
Fantastic
Four.
Four.
Here's a couple of them. Fartamata Mortis. You solved. Don't worry about it. Here's my penis.
And it's sort of like, he's just like, you better go to divination now. And then people can't see what I'm about to do because it's an audio medium. But he basically is just going, which is, I'm pelvic thrusting
Oh.
to make it look like I'm windmilling
Just
my
my
stiffy.
erect
my
penis.
question. My question is: so he blushes. So Hagrid's thought behind, and I directly quote, doing a windmill with his stiffy. Is that like in celebration of finishing the dark arts?
No, that's in celebration of one compliment. You compliment
He's
Hagrid
got a
and he blushes and
compliment.
gets a
Tell you what,
stiffy.
you wouldn't want to compliment him any greater than that. You don't know what's coming at you.
But the student's just like, Hagrid's
okay,
just
cool.
doing a windmill with you. You know what else I think is interesting? The fact that Fantastic Four exists in the Harry Potter
Yes.
universe.
And Big Brother. We're
Yeah.
really learning a lot.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of, J.K. Rowling didn't really venture out of her own
She created a
world.
world and was very close-minded.
Yeah, she could have maybe incorporated orcs from the Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Like, that
Yep.
would fit, but she didn't. Whereas this author, whoever it is, has just gone, all right, I'm going to bring in a real-life reality TV show and a fictional superhero team where a guy can stretch really far. Maybe he learnt the stiffy windmill from Mr. Fantastic because he could stretch around.
Well, he probably, yeah. Just Mr. Fantastic. No, probably more from the Thing, you would think.
That's true.
Which is strange that he forgot his name.
Yeah.
True.
Do you think Mr.
He's-
Fantastic can stretch his dick out as far as he
Absolutely.
wants?
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say
He's
something
all in.
that's so inappropriate. Can Mr. Fantastic stretch his dick so it just goes all like into a woman's vagina?
Oh,
and just like keeps
interesting.
going?
Oh.
Like if a woman's like, penetrate me deeper, could Mr.
He's
Fantastic...
like, okay.
I think there's
He's just got no hip thrust.
But he's
Mr.
responsible because
Fantastic
I
has
think
no
there,
hip
there, there would be a risk of like internal hemorrhage and things like that.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fantastic, from all reports, like is quite a fantastic guy.
I mean, his name is Mr.
and
Fantastic.
has saved the world and things. So I think that he wouldn't want to hurt someone. So I reckon that he would
Yeah.
steer clear
Yeah,
of that.
that's
It's
fair.
just, love to know if there's any Marvel Comics fans, super fans out there that happen to be listening to this. Is there a comic where
There
they
would
explore
be.
this?
There would be
Surely at
some
some
sort
point
of-
they explore his dick stretching ability.
Also, Hagrid weighs how much? 57 million
Fifty
tons.
trillion.
Trillion, I think,
57
actually.
trillion tons,
Yeah.
and he's getting his
So what's his dick
stiffy out to do a
Huge
windmill.
barra.
Do
Yeah,
you think,
wow.
is this you guys have quite a family-friendly image. Do you think this is the...
Mate,
like,
we
This
are,
is the death knell for us.
we
Yes,
are
absolutely.
merely,
Are
no,
you regretting
absolutely.
coming on this show?
Mike, we are merely the vehicles for the words of the author.
True, it's
Yeah.
just art.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
just art. Although I did not think I would be discussing Hagrid's stiffy in as much detail.
Or a windmill. Just
All right,
generally.
we move on. Okay, so Hagrid might be a good teacher, but my dad actually used to be a teacher, and he was really good, way better than Hagrid. And Hagrid, this might be weird because I don't know you too well, but I seriously have no idea how you're still single. You have so much going for you. I can totally see girls having a crush on you, said Dimmy.
So Dimmy as a character, and he's very much like I always say he's kind of like an Eric Cartman from South Park. Like
Right.
he's like he kind of talks like this, like that kind of herb, right? So you didn't really do the read justice,
I
but you
apologise.
didn't know. But he always talks about his dad and how his dad is apparently
He's
this
the
like
best guy.
best guy ever. Like he said his dad was the king of Thailand. His dad is a black belt in Taekwondo. His dad was going to LA to pitch a movie to DreamWorks. Like all these different things that he claims, but we don't know any information about his dad.
Well, I hope
Good.
his dad gets revealed later in the.
It could
later
happen,
in the
yeah.
thing. All right.
I miss Madame Maxine, said Hagrid, as he got a stiffy. So that means, just to re-clarify,
He was stiff, then he was not stiff. Now he's back
within
being stiff.
probably 10 seconds.
yeah,
Wow,
he was
what a
stiff,
skill.
celebrated what we can only assume is a celebration with a windmill of his stiffy. Dimmy said, "You're really hot." He then became flaccid, and then he thought about Madame Maxine, talked about her again, and he became erect once more.
But I think the part you're not like analyzing is how Dimmy goes, you know, hey, Hagrid, I think you're a really good guy. I reckon girls would love you. I can't believe you're still single. And then Hagrid's immediate response is, I miss Madame Maxine. As if
So
like
sad.
she's the only woman who
Yeah.
ever loved
Well,
me.
Yeah.
with his very impressive stiffy, she would need,
Hey,
he
never
would need
said
a fellow
impressive.
giant.
That's a word you
It
put in.
didn't say impressive. Yeah, we can't
Oh, yeah.
assume
If you,
the
if you
stiffy
can
is
windmill
impressive.
a stiffy, it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. That is undoubtedly impressive.
Send your videos in, guys. If you
No. Nope.
no one send me a video of that, please. That was a joke. Just clarifying.
As the class ended, the boys realised they had the first task tomorrow at 2 p.m. and had no idea what they needed to do for it, and realised they might be dead tomorrow.
Oh my god,
That's a hell of a
that's the stakes
realisation.
of this book.
That's a hell of a realisation.
You know, 1 second you'd get in a Hagrid windmill in a stiffy. Second moment, fuck, we could be dead tomorrow.
We could actually be dead.
Yeah.
Lochy had hung behind with Gemini to ask him something. Why do we look alike? Said Lochy.
Oh, is the answer coming?
I'm not sure. I noticed it last year too, said Gemini. Oh, okay, fair enough, said Lochy. Have you ever had a stiffy? Yes, said Gemini.
How are the hormones on the author?
The author was really going through something at
At
this
this
stage.
point, I'm like 13. I've had my first stiffy, and I'm really confused. So I'm just like through this book being like stiffy. It's so normal. Normalize it. Normalize
Don't
it.
write
guys.
about it.
Everyone gets stimmies.
Normalize stiffies.
They keep saying that everyone gets them. Everyone gets them.
Hey,
But I
and-
just love, like, you know, there's this big. It's like if me and you, Adam, looked identical, and I'm like, why do we look identical? Like, we must be related somehow. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, fair enough. And then, like, Lockie's just like looking around to diffuse the tension. You're like, so you ever had a stiffy?
And then rather than say anything else, Gemini just goes, yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thank God. I thought it was just me.
And then from the author, the mystery might have never been solved.
Oh.
It may be later.
It says in brackets, maybe later.
So you
I like
might
this-
get it.
I like this is part book, part instructional book. It's
Yeah,
like,
it tells
hey,
you.
if there's an edge, don't worry. We're going to get to it later. It's
Yeah,
fine. Oh, okay,
and
great. That's
I
fine.
also love how it's like, you know, again, J.K. Rowling never employed that technique of like,
No.
so why was Voldemort immortal? It may never be known. You may find out later, though. In the last
through
book.
to book
You
seven.
stick around.
Bit of craft
Stick
on that. It's
around.
like, keep
It's like
reading.
it's like a
Jeopardy.
radio tease.
Jeopardy.
Yeah.
So, up next, guys, we're going to be talking about Lachy and Gemini. They look identical.
Will he bungee jump?
Yeah.
We'll find out later. He's going to bungee jump, guys.
Next time on Big Brother.
Yeah. All right. This is the final paragraph of the chapter.
Wow,
For chapter
it's
12.
It's a short chappy.
The PA blared an announcement.
Oh.
Attention, all staff and students. Just a reminder that Derek is a disgrace to all students.
To all students. Usually it's
students.
to all wizards.
To all students. And what the heck is going on with Lockie Lockhart and Gemini Jones? Something, that's for sure, said Harry Potter's voice. Also, I'm naked.
So, lots to unpack there.
Look, so we must note that it was the first paragraph in 4 paragraphs that didn't mention stiffies, so that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
But you did.
But it did
it's
finish with a-
implied that there's a stiffy.
But it did finish with a naked headmaster.
I would be shocked if someone was to go into the author's mind at the time and ask them the question right now, as you picture Harry standing behind the PA to speak into the microphone, does he have a stiffy? The author is 100%
Be like,
saying yes.
yes, yeah,
100%
it definitely.
stiffies.
I
100%.
also love that. Yeah, like Harry Potter's just in his office naked. He sees the PA's like, oh, I might as well
Yeah.
just do a little announcement. And us, the readers, we're going, what the hell is up with Lochy and Gemini? Because if you've been listening to this podcast this whole time, it has been the big mystery from the first book.
Are we
So we're all
talking about it?
thinking-
Not talking about it.
Yeah, we're just like, what's going on? And then literally, just in case you didn't get that, the author gets Harry to come on and literally spell out, guys, what the hell is going on? Also, I'm naked. Just in case you needed
See,
to know that.
that's how you can tell that this book series is built for Hollywood reproduction. Because there is no mystery. It's just, we'll just tell you what we're thinking.
Yeah.
Everyone at home's like, oh, shit, what's happening with these
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
And then someone says, a
Yeah.
naked man says from his office, what's
What
going
is
on?
going on
The
with
naked
this?
hero says from his office.
Well, I don't know if there's a hero in this one. Lochy
Fair.
Lockhart. Is that Gilderoy Lockhart's?
Well,
Relation?
so all of the characters in this book, they have names like Michael is Michael Carmichael, Rob is Rob Robson, and then there's Luke Lucas, Lochy Lockhart. So there's that. But last week on the show, I had Sam Gallup. Do you guys know Sam
Yep.
Gallup? Yeah. And he said, just realized Lochy Lockhart is that like Professor Lockhart, which no one has ever said or thought, including me, because I don't remember what happens at the end of these books because I haven't read them since I was 13 or 14.
Brilliant.
So I guess we'll find out. But you're the second person to
Gilderoy.
have that little.
Interesting.
Because is
Very
it spelt
interesting.
the same?
I couldn't tell.
LOCKHART.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm.
Guys, I have to ask, highlight, low light, and mid light. That's like your mid level
Yep.
joke. Yeah.
Yep, okay.
What's the highlight, do you think, guys?
Highlight
Oh, come on.
definitely was like doing a windmill with a stiffy. Sure.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
to be,
Let's
doesn't it?
not kid ourselves. The highlight was definitely Hagrid's windmill.
Yeah.
Yep. Mid light, just a middle thing that comes to mind that was like, oh, that was pretty funny.
I liked the steak, small amount of peas. Fantastic Four.
Hagrid ordering dinner on the phone or something mid sentence.
Yeah.
There's definitely a crossed over Venn diagram of comic book fan, Harry Potter fan, because all
yeah.
of those names, those like the same letters and
Yeah.
Fantastic Fours in there.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
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 Definitely a little crossover. for
You
the
don't
author.
you don't hear much from the Fantastic Four these days,
Not as
do you?
much,
You
no.
don't.
For a
I think there's
while.
one coming, isn't there?
I think there
Are
is
they
a
Marvel?
Marvel
Yeah.
Universe
Right.
one coming, but you
Yeah.
know the Jessica Alba ones with
With
Chris Evans as flaming Human Torch, they were pretty good back in the day,
Wow.
and that might have been around the time this was written.
100%.
Those Fantastic
and
Four
a
movies.
13-year-old boy navigating a stiffy.
Yeah.
Jessica
Loves
Alba in Fantastic Four.
And I think
That's a
in
Venn
that
diagram.
movie, she has to take off her clothes because they show when she's invisible. So she takes off all her clothes, but you don't see her naked. But maybe that got me thinking, oh, what is underneath a woman's clothes? You know?
Uh-oh, I've got a stiffy.
Uh-oh, windmill.
Uh-oh, I'm naked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm naked. Just sitting naked on a chair typing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with-
Is
right.
there a low light, do you think?
I think my closest to a low light was Mr. Charger sticking his tongue out. It just felt off character. Just felt off
a
brand.
little desperate. A
Yeah.
little desperate.
Yeah.
A little desperate.
Yeah.
Okay.
fair. That's
And
fair.
I'd love to ask you, I know this is the only chapter of this franchise you've read. 2 questions. 1, any wild predictions about what might happen next?
I think Charger is going to be. I think he's going to be
Lockie.
related to Lockie Lockhart in
Okay.
some way. Maybe not related, but he's going to have an influence. I think that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Charger. Yeah, I think Charger is Lockie's dad.
Yeah.
But I think that Charger might also kill Hagrid in the end.
Oh, what makes you think
There
that?
just seems to be a lot of death.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
And Hagrid might have a stiffy at the time.
Yeah.
Death by Stiffy.
If you die with
There
a
might
stiffy, does it
genuinely-
stay?
Rigor mortis.
There genuinely might be a sword fight later where there's just like a couple of the male
a
characters
wand fight even.
fighting each other with their stiffies.
A wand fight.
Final question. First impression of the book, right? Would you keep reading?
Flat 10.
Would you
Absolutely.
want to find out? Do you want to find out what happens next?
It's genuinely entertaining. I really like it.
Put
I
this
really like
put this podcast on your rotation, everyone. This is absolute gold.
When you started the
Yeah.
podcast, how much did you read of book 1 to be like, oh, I've got something in this?
I used to do this on my other podcast,
Yes.
20th Century Boy, and I think I got like 15 chapters in, and I was like, oh, maybe I should just do this as a podcast because people really liked it. So that's why it became a spin-off, and now it's like its own podcast. So yeah, but the first book, I hadn't read the ending to the book or anything, so everything was a genuine surprise. There's bits and pieces, because there's 7 books. There's bits and pieces that I remember, and sometimes like something will trigger, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that links into something else later. But most of it, I just don't really remember.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Genius mind. An
Thank you-
absolute genius
Thank you
mind.
so
Nice to
much.
watch
An
a genius
interview
at
with an
work.
author.
Nice
Amazing.
to watch a genius at work.
It
Um,
is, isn't it? Oh my gosh.
Would you guys come on again sometime?
Love to.
Absolutely.
All
Love
right,
to.
awesome.
This has been the highlight of my year.
Oh,
This is so
wow.
good. And
That's
I got,
huge.
Yeah, this is great.
Can you plug all of your stuff and where people can find your stuff? Because I love you guys. You guys are awesome, and we've worked together a lot of times. And I've been on your podcast ages
You have?
ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Do you want to come back?
I'd love to come back.
Well, you should come back and read it on our podcast, and we'll see
Okay.
if we can
All right.
do a little bit of stuff.
Well, plug away. Tell people where they can find you.
So the Adam and Simon Show podcast, you get that wherever you get your podcast. So after this episode's finished, type in the Adam and Simon Show. Simon spelt with a Y though.
And go
That's
listen
why
to the app with me. That
Yeah.
could be your lead in, kind of the bridge.
There you go. I
Yeah.
like that.
And usual
then
social stuff.
socials, yeah. Simon Lovett, Adam Denston, 2
Yeah.
separate, or the Adam and Simon Show on Instagram. That's it. Watch Gogglebox.
Yeah, the boys are on
10.
Gogglebox. Imagine if you
Foxtel.
were Goggleboxing a movie version
I
of
can't
this
wait
book.
for the movie adaptation.
I was looking for
When
no, mate. This
Warner
is like-
Brothers buys us out.
Let's be
You've just got a
serious here.
giant 52 trillion ton man swinging his stiffy in front of kids.
This isn't a movie franchise. This needs more like time. So this
It's a
is
series.
a Netflix series. Each
original.
chapter
Yeah.
is its own episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I've loved every
Pleasure.
second of it.
Thanks, Mike.
And cut. All right, now we'll start the real podcast.
Okay, go. Good rehearsal, guys.
This episode of Harry Potter and the Boys was brought to you by Radio Mike on Patreon and the 20th Century Boy podcast. For as little as $1 a month, get a bonus podcast every week at patreon.com/Radio Mike. And search 20th Century Boy on your favorite podcast app to hear more from me every single week. See you there. This podcast was a Radio Mike original production. Head to radiomike.com.au to check out all our other content, stay up to date at radio.mike on Instagram, and get in touch, radiomikepod@gmail.com.